Another one. From a mindset point of view, what did you do yourself and what do you do for your team to help relax under pressure, to get yourselves to bring out your best at the end of the year?
You know, that's a process that changes every year. You know, so there's not one set process of trying to get a team. I mean, this year I've got 28 guys in my room. I got 38 or 39 guys in my room. 28 of them are sophomores or younger. So I know my challenges this year. I respect my challenges. So what we're going to have to do is going to take a little bit more patience, but I have every intention that we're wrestling for a championship at the end. You know, so is it going to be a little different than what the last couple of years are? Yeah, it's going to be a lot different. You know, last year, like I said, we lost 5 dual meets, and Oklahoma State don't lose 5 dual meets. That's not an option. You know, so I had to be real careful about beating them up because of our tradition to where I got nothing at the end. You know, my tendency is to grab a hold of them and beat them up. You know, so I had to back off and recognize that, you know, these guys are beat up already because they're embarrassed because they got beat by Pittsburgh. You know, easy. No shame in that. No shame in that. You know, I'm just saying that's not something that should be, you know, in our minds it shouldn't be happening. But after watching the match, they were better than us that night, that day. It wasn't because they didn't go out and wrestle. Those guys came out to wrestle. You know.
How about yourself? What did you do to make sure you came out mentally to
So
wrestle?
let me finish my point so you guys understand. Is it's not the same every year. You got to be a little bit different every year based on what your goals are. You know, and so the best thing I did last year is I was patient through those losses. You know, I didn't beat them up any more than I needed to. Go back, forget about it, don't even mention it. Be careful about what I say to the newspapers. You know, and we got through it and wrestled our best at the end and gave ourselves a chance. So what was your follow-up question?
Just what did you do to prepare mentally for yourself?
I don't know. That's a hard question. You know, I mean, preparing mentally is, you know, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. How bad do you want it? You have the energy, the effort. You know, what's your goals? You know, I prepared every day, even in the off season. You know, may not did anything. I may not even physically did anything that day, but I was thinking about the next day that when I am going to do something. You know, so it's just kind of constantly on your mind that if I'm going to stay, if I'm going to be the best, I got to think like the best on a daily basis. You know, so it's not a sprint. You know, it's a marathon, and you know you need to treat it that way. But don't treat it that way like I have. I can make mistakes along the way, or I can have down times where I'm making mistakes. You know, I'm spending. You know, if you're a college wrestler, I mean, yeah, it's not as intense in the summer, but what are we getting done to keep us motivated, to make sure we're working and improving on our skills? You know, I got better in my career in the off season. Every year I came back, I got better. You know, my first year I won the world championships. I didn't turn anybody. You know, my second year, I turned a handful of guys. You know, by my third year, I was dominant on top. You know, so I got better in the off season. So the off season wasn't just downtime; it was time to get better, improve on my skill, rather than going and doing the same. That's the problem I see. Go back and do the same shit after they're getting their butts beat. They don't buy into, you know, hey, not everybody can hit a low single leg, so I'm not going to force that on someone. Okay? But we get tied up. I mean, I went through 3 different styles, you know, in my 6 years. A lot of it was from motion, but a lot of it was different tactics as I went along. You know, and sometimes we just get stuck on, don't give up on this tactic. Well, you know, you just got to kind of recognize, and kids got to buy into it. You know, maybe I'm not meant to stand out there and fight inside guys. Okay, I had to really show a lot of success at it. And that's what I see why we don't improve a lot of times. Especially at that higher levels, I don't see a lot of change. See see the same stuff year after year. If I wrestled you in 2012, 13, I wrestle you a year later, 2013, I don't see a lot. You don't bring something different.